Thanks, everyone. Goodbye, Mom. Goodbye, Dad. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, free time. Farewell, sex. So long, golf on TV. I'll miss you, privacy. Goodbye, being honest about how many beers I've had. Nice knowing you, my own choices. See you later, money.
Second reason why girls think you're unattractive, and a lot of guys who are newer to dating must understand this, because this is something that you're not really taught. You're not mysterious. Girls are very, very much attracted to guys that they don't totally know, even through marriage. Let's say even through a 40-year relationship. You want to have some element of mystery about you. Guys who aren't good with girls do the exact opposite of this. They destroy all their mystery by telling the girl up front, to her face, of all of the boring stuff that they do with their lives. She asks oh hey, did you have a good day? What did you do today? And the boring guy who's unattracted to girls will answer her questions seriously, because he's never been taught this by an older brother.
People dislike him so much that they're happy that the woke people are happy that there's a possibility that women were trafficked just so that Andrew and Tristan can go down. They would prefer that they did it than them not doing it. Does that make sense? Woke people would rather the narrative be that Andrew and Tristan trafficked women and there's actually women being sold just so they can go down, rather than the possibility that they're innocent men and women weren't trafficked at all.
Women are so damn smart. How come they the only motherfuckers that's constantly getting conned and lied to get in the situation they in? Y'all claim y'all are smart as men, but y'all the only people who say, oh, he told me to do this and he talked me into this. When a man gets screwed over, they say it's your fault.
You should have seen it coming.
Should have seen it coming. So why is it we can't say to these women? Because let me tell you a stat that should shock you, all of you. Did you know there are 2 times as many black women with children than black men? What does that tell you? It tells you that women are fucking the same man.
Boom!
Damn. So y'all know he ain't shit, and you fuck him because you in competition with that other ain't shit bitch to have that ain't shit nigga baby. Because you just saw a video on Instagram of Future, who you know got 9-11 kids, talking about how hard it is for him on Valentine's Day with all these bitches, and bitches jump right on the video to be there with him. So don't tell me how great women are. Don't tell me how women care about marriage. Don't tell me how women care about society, because if they did, the last thing you do is continue to reproduce.
Why women like guys with money? It's not even that you have money, it's that you be a little bit spontaneous and that you have time during the day to give them attention. If you've got money but you're a banker and you're working 12-hour days and you ain't got time to touch your phone, you ain't getting girls because they want attention all the fucking time. That's the reality. He doesn't text me. You've always heard it. I fucked the gardener because he didn't give me any attention. No, it's not about money. Guys get confused about money because they oh, he has money. Money is the least helpful aspect, believe it or not. Get all your other shits together. If you're confident and you're smart, you've got some fun stories, and you'll go up to girls, and you'll be interesting, and you're not afraid to get rejected, and you'll do the numbers games, and you're in half good shape, you'll be all right. You don't need to be a millionaire.
Has there ever been a guy that you wanted but couldn't get?
No. And men are fucking easy.
You think so?
Yeah.
So you can hit somebody up right now, one of your friends, guy friends, and say, let's fuck. Will they do it?
Men are fucking easy, dude.
Try it. I want to see it.
I ain't even know that shit.
Have you ever noticed girls will lose feelings if you love them too much?
Let me give y'all some advice. Never mess with a girl who has a boyfriend. Now hear me out, not just because, morals or whatever, because some of y'all, we know y'all don't got morals. The reason I'm telling y'all never mess with a girl who has a boyfriend, because they will do anything to make it seem like they didn't cheat. You ask her, what do you mean they'll do anything to make it seem like they didn't cheat? Bro, these women will lie on you. They will lie. They will lie. You, especially if any type of alcohol is involved. She could have just dipped her pinky in some tequila and placed it on her tongue, and she'll say you spiked her drink, just to get out of it. They would lie about anything. Let me give y'all an example. I was messing with this girl, right? She was talking about, when you gonna try to link me, She was asking me to come over, all this different stuff. I'm like, all right, so one day I was like, all right, so when we gonna link? I was like, all right, let me come over. She was like, I never said we was hanging out, She deleted all her messages that looked like I made it seem like it was me. She deleted all her messages and make it seem like it was me asking her to link when she was telling me to come to her house. She made it seem like, you know how on Instagram you can unsend messages? She made it seem like I was talking to myself, but like any person with a brain can see that she was responding and I was responding to what she was saying, right? Anyway, moral of the story is, bro, never mess with a girl who got a boyfriend, because you will get jammed up and it ain't even worth it for real.
If she's going out, it's a deal breaker for me.
Huge red flag.
That for me, it's a deal breaker.
I totally agree.
Why is that a deal breaker? Is it because it makes you insecure?
It has nothing to do with insecurity.
It actually has everything to do with insecurity, but not in the sense that she was trying to argue. If you allow your girl to go to parties and clubs without you, where she will most definitely be sexually or romantically advanced on by other guys, and also potentially put in dangerous situations where she can be taken advantage of, that will 100% produce insecurity. But it's not just some internal insecurity that women like to accuse and shame men for having when they express their disapproval of allowing their partners to go partying without them. It's a practical and logically grounded insecurity, not only in the mind of the man, but in the stability of the relationship. We have to be very honest with ourselves when we think about the motives behind going to parties and clubs, especially without a significant other. The most prominent reason people would express for wanting to go on a night out would be to socialize, let loose, and have fun. But I would bet that an almost equally as prominent reason people have, but would be reluctant to admit, is the surplus opportunity it provides for romantic and sexual advances. Now, as a man, these potential encounters are easier to avoid considering the burden is on us to initiate the advancement. But as a woman who is even remotely attractive, these encounters are almost impossible to avoid. You will be approached by men if you go out partying. Now, knowing the underlying truth behind the motives and awareness of people who like to go to clubs and parties, you gotta start to wonder why a woman in a committed relationship would even want to put herself in those situations. And some might argue that she just wants to go out with her friends and have fun, but that's not a good enough excuse considering the numerous other things you could do with your friends to have fun. As a woman, you know you'll be hit on if you go out partying. You know you'll be presented with potentially tempting opportunities and situations by the many guys that will approach you. And men without a doubt fully understand the potential dangers of allowing his girl to go partying by herself. All those situations unnecessarily expose the relationship to instability and insecurity. And no man wants to feel like there's even a chance of his relationship not being stable or secure. That's why it's easier for him to just prevent the avoidable situations from happening. That internal insecurity a man feels only starts to manifest itself when his girl expresses a desire to put herself in those situations and frequently go out partying without him.
I be wanting a girlfriend so bad. Wife, kids, marriage, all that. And then I see stuff like this, and I want to die alone.
Do you think cheating hurts a man or a woman more?
I think it hurts a man more because y'all aren't prepared for it.
Not only are men not prepared for it because they'll have the mindset, she'll never do that to me. Unpopular opinion. Men love harder than women do.
For me to be comfortable, like staying at home and not working, I feel like this is gonna sound bad. I feel like 300,000. I guess if they made less than that, I feel like we wouldn't have the lifestyle I wanted, so I would work.
What lifestyle is that?
Anywhere from 70 to 100K. $500,000. I know that 1% of men make $500,000, or like less than 1% of men or something.
Probably 150 to $250,000 a year.
If your wife can spend more than you make, like you need to make more money. So it really just depends. 150 maybe to 250,000 a year would be comfortable for sure.
How can you ask for equality and also promote such a parasitic lifestyle at the same time?
Ideally, my husband needs to be making like 650,000. If I was making significantly less than a partner, it would make me feel insecure, like I wasn't on the same level as them. Not that I'm trying to like be super equal with my partner.
These are 5 signs you're dealing with a toxic chick and it's time to walk away. A lot of y'all be scared to walk away. Y'all be like, oh, she's the best thing in the world. Her pussy's good. Man, listen. There's 4 billion chicks on earth. Be a fucking man. 1. Anytime you guys go through relationship issues, right? She's going to post an Instagram story or meme that relates to the situation, right? She's basically letting other dudes know, my dude fucked up. I need a shoulder to cry on. And a shoulder to cry on becomes a dick to ride on. Come on, fellas. The easiest way to get a girl to cheat on her man, which is when they're going through shit, right? A breakup or just going through shit in general, right? You know why? Women react off emotions, right? As soon as I see them quotes on her story, I'm gonna slide in her DM like, you good? You know why? A shoulder to cry on becomes a dick to ride on. 2, anytime a relationship get rocky, right? She threatens to leave. Oh, I'm gonna leave you if you don't do this. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck. I'm him. I'm him Duncan. I'm Himothy. A lot of y'all dudes be like, no, baby, I'll do whatever to fix this. Nigga, what? You crazy as hell. There's 4 billion chicks on earth and you chasing that little... She mid, bruh. 3, she runs to her family with all y'all problems, right? Guess what? She might forgive you, your girl, right? But her family won't, and things will never be the same between y'all. 4, she loves to fight and argue. She don't like to talk things out. A relationship will never work like this. You know why? Because things will never get solved. You got to be a problem solver when it comes to issues. 5, she got no sense of accountability, right? Let's say you approach her like, babe, I want you to work on this or fix this for the sake of our relationship, right? She's going to get defensive and want to argue right away, right? Instead of saying, you know what, babe, I'll work on this and I'll fix it.
No one has seen more men break down in tears while their kids get taken away, the equity in their home gets stolen, their retirement, their pension gets stolen by these judges. They have so much to lose. Women don't have these things to lose.
Yeah, we do. How can you say that a woman doesn't have equity in the house to
I can say that because I've been practicing for 20 years.
But I know, but women also can make money. Like there could be marriages where the woman makes more money.
Listen, there are the LeBron James of women, all right? But I'm not talking about these special cases. I'm talking about in general. If you want to sit here and tell me that women in general lose their kids, you're crazy.
No, but
of course they don't.
It's well, some women do if they're like alcohol abuse.
No, not
or something.
in general.
I think what you're saying, there's exceptions and there are rules.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know if Madison was intentionally being disagreeable. Respect. Define disagreeable for women.
Yeah.
Us. And so people have talked about equity instead, which is instead of sameness, it's fairness. And this would mean that we remove systemic barriers to engage in society, not just for women, but also for everyone.
So which barriers?
Those barriers that you don't believe in.
What does it do for you to have a bunch of ramps in your life? It doesn't do shit. I need those ramps, right?
Can we stick to male versus female? That's my question. So I'm thinking male versus female.
But my feminism includes ability, it includes race.
My question is
You
for
guys
women.
can talk.
Women versus men. Like what barriers do we need removed? Because that's my statement. I'm not stating anything else. I'm stating women versus men.
It's very silly.
So what barrier?
Why is
I
it
just
silly?
want
The question is
fair
silly.
question.
So,
Yeah, but I'm
it's
saying,
not a fair question. It's
how is it not a?
What does it mean to be masculine? What does it mean to be a man?
I got this next project, and my next art show is going to make $1 million. And you're addicted to that. There's no end to it.
Society tells us men should be strong, dependable, and able to provide for their family.
How long were you happy for? Maybe a day, maybe 24 hours, and then what happens the next day? Back to the grind. It's not enough.
Is it okay for men to cry?
No,
Why not?
because it threatens their masculinity. Men are facing a crisis. How many men do you think die by suicide each day in the UK? Have a guess.
What's your dream job? What do you want to do when you grow up?
I'm gonna be a doctor.
How much do you want to make?
I'm gonna make people feel okay.
This is for all the men out there. If you're talking to a girl right now and she has either one of these two things or both of them, an absent father and an emotionally unavailable mother, fucking abort mission. Abort now, fucking run, retreat, speaking from experience. That shit fucking hurted.
I want to be feminine, but if I have to step it up,
So you pick and choose when you be
because it's
feminine.
needed.
You're a man
Pretty
until
much.
it's time to be a woman.
because I have to survive.
makes sense.
Yes, I have to survive.
Okay, would you be in a relationship with a guy who was a woman until it was time to be a man? What if I was like, I'm feminine and submissive until I find a woman that wants to be with me?
That doesn't make
I'm
sense.
never going to find that woman. Fantastic. Thank you.
That doesn't make
It doesn't make sense.
Okay,
This is the
but-
problem with modern relationships. You are acting like a man until some guy just puts up with your bullshit, but it doesn't make sense if I do it. That means all of you are acting in delusion and living in delusion until it's time to just give up.
You need a laugh. You're in
the right place, because today we're going to talk about compensatory masculinity.
Quick context. This is about a study where they either made men do masculine things or they made them do feminine things, and then they let them choose between either sitting in a room and doing nothing or they let them punch a punching bag. And the men that were forced to do feminine things were a lot more likely to choose the punching bag as a form of compensatory masculinity, which is how they make up for a threat on their masculinity with just more masculine behavior. And on the surface, yeah, it's a goofy, funny study, whatever, but when you look deeper, you realize that it's actually the reason why most school and other violent crimes are predominantly committed by men. I learned this from an interview with an ex-president of the American Psychological Association, Ronald Levant, who studies mainly masculinity. And he talks about this very study. But then he goes on to talk about a database of young men who have committed school. And he says that 18 of them mentioned masculinity, specifically threatened masculinity. Boys who are bullied for not being sufficiently masculine, men who can't get a date with women, just men who in various ways feel that they do not measure up. Now here's the crazy part. He says that he's found that on average, most men do not endorse traditional masculine norms. That is the emotionless, lack of empathy, hyper-independent type of masculine norm. But there's a minority of men who do, who feel ashamed of themselves for violating those norms. And then he talks about another really peculiar study he did, where he finds a bunch of men that don't fit the traditional masculine stereotype, and he has them on flashcards write down the biggest things that they're ashamed of. And he says the shameful secrets that men would never tell anybody were all about violating masculine norms. I backed down from a fight in school. I had a crush on another boy. I was too close to my mother. As a boy, I cried too often. It almost breaks your heart. These are 40 or 50-year-old men who feel ashamed of themselves for things that are just basically human. So you would think that we see the issue, right? That threatened masculinity is a huge issue because it has strong ties to acts of violence. And that's in big part because we still uphold all these old school beliefs that men shouldn't really be human and they shouldn't be emotional. Until you see this. Here is one screenshot of some of the top comments on that video. Why are they so sensitive? Literally, how are women branded as more emotional? I can't believe they tried to convince us we're the drama queens. We're doing great.
Friend. Bitch, I said you bad.
Fellas, y'all gotta stop falling for it. Y'all gotta stop falling for it. That's why when I say they pull back, you pull back too. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when girls do that, they don't be uninterested. They do that to control the leverage, to have leverage. They do it to control the pace of shit. They do it to see how much you like them. But had you be patient, had you just waited out and she reach out to you, now you controlling the tempo of things, man. Sometimes, man, you just gotta be patient. Your day will come.
Hey guys, as a general rule, don't do weak stuff ever. You're not going to fool anybody else. Certainly not anybody of quality or anybody who's really paying attention or worthwhile. You know, what you do behind closed doors or who you are when you're by yourself, that will eventually come out when you're around other people. Are you okay with that? Because how you do anything is how you do everything. To be a champion for women or in life, you have to sacrifice all that weak bullshit that you've been wasting your time on. Because someone is always ultimately watching, and that somebody is you. And if you're constantly doing weak stuff, you're undermining your own self-confidence, and you will undermine your game. Not only when you're by yourself and where it doesn't matter, but also when you're out in the world with other people where it really does matter.
Just tell me why every man has the answer to literally absolutely everything.
Because they've had to do everything for everyone their entire life. And even when they don't know, their number one response is I'll figure it out.
The whole time I was seeing him, I was kind of just using it as a psychology experiment, and I didn't really like the guy. I more just wanted to see if I could break his heart. And it was fun.
So did you break his heart then?
Just a wee bit. I hope I did a little damage.
Wow. Okay. Why do you hope that you did a little damage?
Just, I like humbling men.
You like humbling men?
Yeah. It's like my pastime.
Your pastime is humbling men.
You do work at a strip club, so do you humble men there?
No, I take their money.
What about the talk? Women are more mature than men of the same age. I've heard people say women have a mind at least 5 years ahead of a man at the same age. I don't believe this stat at all anymore. Growing up, I heard this same stat, and I'm like, oh yeah, girls are more mature. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. As you get older, you start to realize how immature women are. Us men talk about it all the time. You got to deal with their petty behavior. You got to deal with their immature emotions, and they can't control their emotions most of the time. This is not all, but this is some. Every time a woman in her younger years makes a mistake, what do most people say, men and women? Oh, she's young, she's naive, she'll learn as she gets older, right? But us boys have to be accountable. Women don't have to be accountable when they're young, and this is the best example I can get, and I don't want any smoke for it. You cheat on a man in his younger years, he most likely not gonna take that woman back. You cheat on a woman in her younger years, I bet you she take that man back.
Would you stay with a cheating millionaire boyfriend or be with a broke, loyal guy? Keep it 100, man.
That's a hard one, huh?
Keep it 100.
Broken loyal or cheating?
He's giving you the lifestyle. He's amazing, great connection, but from time to time, he steps out and cheats.
But is it
It's
cheating?
like an open relationship.
Yeah, is this an open
No,
relationship?
close on your end, open on his end.
That's Shit.
Why can't I have fun?
Why he gotta be broke? This is hard.
Come on now, come on.
Can we phone a friend?
No,
Camille,
no. Don't look at her. Don't look at her. She can't help you.
So the connection's there on both.
Connection's there on both sides,
real.
but he's just broke, and the other
Like, I
guy's
have to
giving
take-
you everything you want. He just from time to time, I'm gonna fuck
I'll
with
take
bitch
the
from time to
millionaire
time.
that cheats. I'm taking the cheater too.
Yeah.
Because we living good.
Yeah.
And this shows, y'all. This shows that if a man's value is high enough, he will be shared.
It's not ideal. I'm not happy
She
about
said
it.
it's not ideal.
You know, I'm sick of seeing girls and stuff being on TikTok being like, oh, he was insecure, like he was just insecure, and you know, his relationship just didn't work out. Oh, he was insecure, so he didn't when you go out partying late at night without him at a frat with a bunch of drunk guys that want to sleep with you, with your hoe friends that do sleep around with guys and cheat. Oh, I'm sorry, he was insecure. Like, dude, it's trust. If you really loved him, you wouldn't want to go do those things. Like, when I love a girl, let's say I want to go do something, and she's like, that makes me uncomfortable. Because I love her, I don't sit here and go, oh, you're insecure, or you're being controlling. I do what's to make it better. What's more important, that frat party or your boyfriend? Because I guarantee you, he's not insecure. He just loves you and doesn't trust you around men because he is a man and he knows exactly how men are. And men will sleep with anything they can nowadays. They take one sip of alcohol and they sleep with a couch. Anyways, I just thought I should say that. I love you guys.
A lot of men from all over the world are done playing cleanup men.
Oh, she is 1000% right. And this is something men like myself have been saying for the longest. And I said this before in a previous post. When a man has been through so much crap after being a people pleaser, you know, after giving his time to people that didn't deserve it, or giving his love, time, and affection to a woman who didn't deserve it and abused it, all because she gave herself to the wrong men and she has accumulated all of this trauma, and all of a sudden she wants a good dude, but then a good dude comes in her life and she mistreats that good dude, and now he has mental health issues. He may have anxiety, depression, or whatever because she mistreated him, because she didn't know how to treat a good man. And what we supposed to do, come and play cleanup man because you made the wrong choices in men? No, we ain't doing that. Once a man heals from all of his trauma or is on his healing journey, a woman has to compete with his peace. Like, you have to bring peace and tranquility to his life when he's been through chaos already. We're not here to be your therapist. We're not here to heal you from all of your traumas that got nothing to do with us. Or whatever issues you got has nothing to do with us. And we are not obligated in any way to bear those burdens because we have our own. Because unfortunately, a lot of men, they play that Captain Save-A-Hoe game, they end up getting messed up and get nothing in return for that. All because they're trying to show that there is a such thing as good men, but in reality, you didn't want the good man anyway. He's your second choice. The toxic dude that didn't deserve your time and you gave all your time to and your womb to, he was your first choice. Now you done been through too many of them. Now all of a sudden you want the good dude. Nah, ain't no double backing for that. Men are not cleaning up your mess anymore. We just aren't. We shouldn't have to, and we're not obligated to, because we got our own mess to clean up. We got our own mental health to get better at. We have our own traumas to heal. We're doing the work. Now, if you've done your work and you held yourself accountable and you understand what it means to be accountable, and you have those same values, a lot of the same traditional values that a lot of traditional men have, then maybe we can see where things go. But again, like in the original video, if you actually seen it, you will understand why men are done playing cleanup man.